In this podcast episode, the host speaks with Dan Coe, a creator known for his expertise in content creation, business, and fitness. Their conversation delves into a wide array of topics, ranging from entrepreneurship, social media strategy, personal discipline, fitness journeys, to the philosophy behind success and personal growth. Dan shares his entrepreneurial background, highlighting the universal experience many face when starting multiple ventures without generating meaningful income. He recounts moving through 7 distinct business models, from web design to e-commerce to dropshipping, often caught in the trap of enjoying the startup phase, building a website, crafting a brand, but lacking clarity on how to attract customers and generate sales. This cycle of starting, failing to build traction, and moving on is common among novices, and Dan emphasizes that the true result of starting a business is making money, not merely executing tasks or projects. The turning point in Dan's journey was the realization that success boils down to understanding and mastering 2 critical components: traffic and sales. By learning to draw the right people and offer real value that they are willing to pay for, he began seeing results quicker. Importantly, Dan notes that social media played a major role in this breakthrough. Although he started by cold outreaching on LinkedIn and running ads, he found real power in consistently posting content that resonated with his audience, which eventually created demand for his services. One of Dan's key philosophies involves the concept of "you are the niche." Instead of targeting audiences already interested in a product or service, Dan shows how creating interest around a topic through storytelling, persuasion, and fresh perspectives builds an audience that trusts you. For example, instead of directly selling web design services, his content weaves in ideas about self-improvement, emotional management, and broader personal development, appealing to a wider group who then become potential clients. When asked about those unsure of what to sell or talk about, Dan advocates starting with what genuinely interests you and what has brought benefit to your life. By reflecting on personal consumption habits, such as YouTube watch history or social media follows, and adopting the mindset of a creator, people can uncover niches they feel passionate about. From there, reverse engineering how others communicate in those spaces allows for authentic content creation that naturally attracts an audience. Dan and the host also discuss challenges younger fitness coaches face, particularly the difficulty clients might have trusting someone younger as an authority on fitness. Dan suggests an alternative approach focused less on positioning oneself strictly as an expert or guru and more as a relatable community builder, documenting personal growth journeys or helping others reach shared physical goals. This perspective fosters strong community bonds and creates value beyond technical coaching. Dan also reveals how his own gym routine evolved, emphasizing discipline tied to identity rather than forceful willpower. Having recently hired a coach, he rediscovered the joy in structured training and precision, shifting away from aimlessly going to the gym out of obligation to a deliberate pursuit of strength and progression. Moreover, the importance of environment, such as training in state-of-the-art gyms with vibrant communities, plays a significant role in gym motivation and performance. A significant portion of the conversation focuses on content creation in today's landscape, saturated with AI tools and outsourcing. Dan underscores that while some creators rely heavily on teams, scripts, and teleprompters, sacrificing authenticity for polished but inauthentic content, there remains strong value in maintaining a direct personal connection with the audience. He advocates for creators to stand out by sharing their unique vision and story rather than chasing viral trends or relying on formulaic content. Dan's content process reflects this ethos. He writes a weekly newsletter as the backbone of his content strategy, spending focused time daily to craft high-value written material. This newsletter then informs his YouTube videos and social media posts, allowing for cohesive storytelling across platforms. He writes for about 2 hours each morning, and rather than outsourcing the creative process, he keeps control of content creation, apart from a video editor who handles the post-production work. His approach shines with the emphasis on storytelling frameworks that start with identifying the problem, developing a perspective or theory, and then providing practical step-by-step advice. This method not only delivers value, but also guides the audience through transformation, fostering deeper engagement. Dan offers relatable advice for those who struggle with writing or focus. He compares writing to gym training, starting with simple frameworks and steadily building skill and endurance. Capturing ideas immediately, whether during walks, late at night, or while listening to audiobooks, is a habit he promotes to maintain creative momentum. These moments of inspiration often come unexpectedly and fuel his writing and content. He attributes some of his best ideas to listening to a variety of materials, from spirituality to business, which spark creative connections that feed his work. This approach highlights the importance of cultivating diverse knowledge and allowing the subconscious mind to piece together innovative thoughts. Throughout the dialogue, underlying themes about life choices, uncertainty, and motivation emerge. Dan stresses embracing uncertainty because rewards are linked to risk, and true growth happens outside comfort zones. For those hesitant to dive fully into uncertain ventures, he advises minimizing risk through lifestyle simplicity. Being young and broke means fewer obligations and more freedom to experiment. Motivation is fueled not just by money, but by the personal development and fulfillment derived from the journey of building something meaningful. Dan admits that once his financial needs were met, it was this ongoing personal growth and pushing past boredom into new levels of challenge that kept him engaged. Interestingly, Dan reflects on how having money can, paradoxically, reduce the urgency that once drove success, sharing that sometimes he even hides his funds to replicate the hunger and focus of earlier days. His business goal is not tied to an arbitrary number, but centered on sustaining a lifestyle that enables him to enjoy meaningful experiences, travel luxuriously, and share that journey with those close to him. Apart from content and fitness, Dan runs a software company called Cortex, which is developing note-taking software with AI integration. The team faced challenges building complex proprietary infrastructure, which slowed growth and introduced bugs. Recently, co-founders moved operations to Japan to reset and rebuild the product from scratch, aiming for a superior user experience under a new brand. Dan discusses managing a growing team of developers and designers, recognizing leadership and team building as ongoing learning areas. He emphasizes hiring team members who genuinely care about the product and shares how his network organically expanded to bring in dedicated collaborators. The conversation turns reflective when Dan talks about his past fascination with flashy cars and material possessions, recognizing the cyclical dissatisfaction that comes from chasing external status symbols. Downsizing his car collection signaled a deeper understanding that true satisfaction isn't found in possessions, but experiences and autonomy. He points out how business and the pursuit of financial goals have enhanced his personal development far beyond material wealth. The process has enriched his life through expanding skills, knowledge, identity, and opportunities, making it clear that for Dan, business is much more than money. It's the vessel through which he cultivates a richer, more interesting existence.